You're absolutely right, we will, but we have got the go-ahead here in the IRC, which means we will be underway shortly for you guys. And here we are underway with Game 2 of Eunos versus Imasock. We're going to immediately start out here, of course, with the Wood Sword. Both of our runners opting to use the up A strategy to potentially save themselves just a little bit of frames, and both immediately going to Vanilla level 3 to see what's over there. What are your thoughts on this start, Nora?
Yeah, I'm become a big fan of the level 3 play. As I'm just going to stick around and see if we can get a bomb drop off these moblins. Eunos is going to go in and see level 8.
Level 8 is a very interesting dungeon to start with because it tends to be very much bigger. But at the same time, you also have 3 items. So variable hit or miss on whether or not you're comfortable doing this or not. Looks like Sock's going to try and farm some bombs here and does get them. Eunos also gets some bombs as a drop from this Wallmaster room and does find himself a transport staircase. So this is an interesting thought here because I know me personally, I'm one who is definitely going to gamble, and gambling early on going downstairs in 8 is definitely a gamble.
What a nice kill on Manhandler there by Eunos. Sock's dealing with those wall masters here. Will be rewarded with bombs after farming that 8-pack. Won't be happy to see that on the floor.
No, absolutely not. And the other thing to keep in mind here is that is the fact that those wall masters did roll up. So they were definitely a little bit heavier on the HP. Eunos going to go ahead, and he is definitely trying to do some bomb farming here and some counting. Didn't necessarily get what he needed to there, but Sock's going to get a fantastic manhandle kill as well. So both of our runners immediately coming in with beautiful manhandle kills in their staircase.
And the game throwing everything at them now. Eunos is fighting Gleok on 3 hearts. Being the low percent runner, but that does not get the low percent kill.
No, but fighting a Gleok in low percent, you know what you're getting into when you're playing low percent. When you walk into a room like that, you're not necessarily prepared to fight Gleok, so you might be caught a little off guard. So Eunos, after taking that death, is going to do some overworld exploration, and Sock is going to stay here in level 8. It could be a huge advantage for Sock if something that's going to help with progression, specifically the ladder or maybe even the recorder or red candle is in here. That could definitely significantly help and increase the clock we've got here.
Yeah, so Eunos is going to make his way up to the level 1 spot. I don't mind this after the death in 8. I personally like to go up to vanilla 6, but 1 is, speaking of 6, hello.
Right, and normally I agree with you. I like to go 3-6 Armos myself, but with the death and Eunos opting to save as opposed to continue, he was back at start, and at that portion, I like going up here. If you're back at start and you've been there already, absolutely go ahead. And Sock over on our right-hand side came across a mugger room with only 3 hearts, so he opted to pay the heart. Now, if you start with 3 hearts, you cannot go below anything you have started with, so this is going to put us into zombie mode. So at this point, a stiff gust of wind is going to send Sock back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Also, Sock getting in a little bit early on the Halloween celebration here. Speaking of stiff gust of wind, hello, Gel.
I mean, that's definitely a stiff gust of wind. Eunos here fighting off these Gibdos, and you are 100% correct. The Link's Awakening sprite set is absolutely fantastic, and it looks as if Sock is doing the same thing, opting to say, I'm done here in this level 8 for now, and it looks like he is going to follow Eunos' footsteps and go up to the vanilla level 1 area, but first he's taking the roundabout path to get over here to this 30 secret.
And Sock over here, you've got the bombs. The secrets here. You might check the shop if you haven't yet. If you can get the candle early, that's always a benefit too.
Yeah, of note here, we did see some dark nuts over on Eunos' side here on the overworld, so that is something to keep in mind, that we do not have to deal with the dark nuts in the dungeons. We will still probably have to deal with Wizrobes because we saw them there in level 6, actually, no probably is about it. And, we do have a shuffled Armos here, so with this location, we're going to find out immediately. So with that being the 30 secret, that means the Armos item has been shifted to the 30 secret in the forest. So I find what Eunos is doing right here is very interesting. He had the option to go to Vanilla Six's location, but opted instead to go up here to Vanilla 9. I like this a lot. I very much like to go and do this Vanilla level 9 stuff because a lot of runners tend to leave it for later. Now the question I'm asking myself here, and maybe you can agree with me or not, Nora, is this a move that Eunos would be doing normally, or is this a move he's doing just to try and potentially gain an edge because he's down a game, and right now he's being rewarded because it's level 1? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Eunos' matches. I've been racing as well, so I haven't had a chance to get back and get into the VODs, but it looks like a play that not many runners would make, especially with 6 there. Most runners would go 6 first, then potentially come up here. Problem's going to be is this one is very likely key blocked, and as Eunos picks the Triforce up and stares at a key.
Yeah, and that's the danger of coming up here to this spot here. It is exactly what just happened could happen. If you're coming up there with no key, you have the potential of not being able to explore. Good news for Eunos, he got the Triforce, which means if he does happen to come across the Recorder, he can easily make his way back up there. Bad news for Eunos, if the Recorder is up there, he's going to have to make another trip.
Yeah, most definitely. Sock here having a little bit more progression in this 6. Finds a staircase, but it is not the most pleasant room, and
nothing about that staircase was fine.
I can't tell if he had the breakfast or the Wi-Fi at the hotel there.
Yes.
So Eunos is now kind of down the coast. He's going to make the play here to get the 2 heart containers, probably check what's in level 2, but also more importantly, check what's on the coast and see how important that ladder is going to be. And a nice reverse HUD clip.
And Eunos is going to be rewarded by having the candle in the coast shop. So in addition to checking level 2, he can also check level 8. And with that revelation of the heart container being on the coast, we now know that what the information we have is the ladder is not going to be necessarily required to pick up that item. I say that because we have had some ladderless seeds here very recently, 2 come to mind. Game 3 of Fury and Liquid Husband, and Game 1 of Drone Malchior, or maybe Game 2 of Drone Malchior. Anyway, that was absolutely... Anytime you can have a ladderless seed is crazy. So that's just something to keep in the back of your head that we don't know for sure we need the ladder for right now. And I don't know if we're at a point where Eunos is willing to gamble on that, but it's definitely something to keep in the back of your head as that room in level 6, again, decides to give Sock the absolute business.
Yeah, it's looking like the red wizards rolled up, so that's unpleasant. So Eunos gets the business from red wizard as well. Sock's gonna get over here, probably give us a check on the Forgotten Spots bomb shop, along with probably look into level 6.
Yeah, well, we did have the arrows there in the Forgotten Spots. That is something to keep in mind because I know personally I was doing a practice seed the other day. I think you were with me there, Nora, where wood arrows were required because silvers were a 9 and the raft was blocked by a Goma. So definitely a good thing to know where the arrow shop is. As Sock does find his candle, unfortunately, he is going to be about 7 rupees short. He's going to be able to go ahead and purchase it almost immediately as he's going to find this 30 secret over here.
Right, and with that knowledge of which shop has it, he also now knows that the coast shop, as much as we do, has that red candle, so may wait to purchase, or blue candle, sorry, may wait to purchase it till.
So this is interesting. Both runners opting to not go to look at Vanilla 6, both of them opting to go up to Vanilla 9, and there is the 4 item in 3. It is the blue boomerang. Eunos thought about it for a minute. Absolutely thought about it, and then said, no, thank you. But I'd like to point out the fact that the room that Eunos got that drop in, he absolutely eviscerated those blue Wizrobes. If you ever wanted a school on how to kill a room full of blue Wizrobes, go back to this highlight, find that clip, and watch it.
Yes. Now, the interesting point here is Imasock is now in 1, has the keys to get through this door.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see what he ends up finding in here. If it turns out to be one of those level 1s that, hey, I just have 3 hearts, Eunos isn't going to be, pardon the pun here, heartbroken that he only got the Triforce out of that one room, as we get a map out of level 3. Oh, Eunos could have bombed 2. Wow. So we've got
yeah.
So Eunos also coming across a mugger here in level 3. So even though he has picked up a heart container, he's going to have to pay that down to the Piper. But he is going to find a staircase item here. Sock also in a push block room. So both farmers in staircase rooms. Eunos getting that heart back he paid. Sock discovering that level 1 is in fact segmented.
That's wonderful. So Eunos is now going to head back up and grab that Triforce. And we'll have to see where he goes from level 3. Probably to level 2. But giving up that heart is now going to make the white sword a little bit more difficult to get, potentially.
Yeah, but he's still got the level that's on Vanilla 2's location.
Oh.
Wow, that's huge for Sock. The ladder in level 1. So that is going to give him a huge advantage right now. Not necessarily because the ladder is required for anything that we've seen right now, but because it's going to allow him to not have to worry about traversing any of these blocks he could encounter. That is a fantastic find for Sock. As Eunos picks up all of 5 rupees here, Eunos is going to also be able to pick up the Armos item, as we know it's here in the forest. What were you saying about heart containers now, sir?
Well, the game knows.
Wow, that level 1 is something fancy and fierce here. We have got ourselves a triple segmented level 1, and then we look over onto Eunos' side in level 5, and level 5 basically looks like level 1 reconnected itself.
It kind of looks like one of those, 3D chess boards. That's kind of impressive.
Although, now that I look at it, based on the top line there, that level 5, it kind of looks like Jar Jar Binks is sitting down.
No.
So, Eunos is going to pick up his 3rd Triforce of the match here, the Triforce on level 5, and he's just saying, nope, I'm out of here for now. Sock is back in level 1, has a whole second section to explore, but did get the business end of a Danger Noodle.
Yeah, more importantly, he's got these 2 rooms left that he now knows exist up in this segment, so we'll be able to explore those on this trip.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can get a map, especially in shape, so you know where to bomb. In level 1, 2, and 3, even more so, because you can just bomb anywhere, because as long as it's not an old man blocking you from the top, or Zelda's room, or a corridor staircase, you can pretty much bomb anywhere. And Eunos using one of my favorite tricks that I personally can never manage to get right, and that's candle boosting.
You shoot the candle and walk right into the darknet anyway.
Exactly. It's like I candle boost right into the darknet, and wow, we have got a massive, large secret there, 147 rupees. So pretty much anything that Eunos would want to purchase right now, save for a blue ring, he is going to be able to do that.
Oh, Imasock's got either the transport.
It has to be the transport.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. This is going to go down to that little magnet-shaped section there in level 1. As Eunos has discovered bombs at 21 rupees a 4-pack, so we have a small increase in price, and he is going to go ahead and pay the upcharge for convenience. Well, you were partially correct, Nora. He did eventually find his way to level 2 afterwards, and immediately greeted with a segmented level 2. One thing we do immediately know about this particular section of level 2 is this section of level 2 cannot have the recorder in it because he just had to clip by a dig dogger to get here.
Well, level 1 not working out as well for Imasock. The ladder is about the only really great item he got out of here. Got an extra heart, which will help on the way to the white sword, but
yeah, unfortunately, really... that extra heart also makes this room a little bit harder because he now no longer has sword beams. So Eunos did a little bit of exploring here in level 2. Looks like he's going to continue on here, see what he exactly wants to do, as Sock picks up his first Triforce of the match. That's, of course, the Triforce out of level 1.
Yeah, it's a really interesting setup here. Eunos with 3 Triforces, but not really much item knowledge. Knows where the 2 items in 3 are, but that's about it.
Yep, well, that's going to be his 4th Triforce of the match, as he picks up the Triforce out of level 2. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes back in here, because 2 is a very small dungeon. Yeah, turning right around, heading there. Sock now, leaving level 1, he has a couple of options. He can go either right over to level 2, where Eunos is, or he can choose to go back down to vanilla level 6, which is where I believe he is going right now, which we know is going to be either level 4, 7, or 9.
Yeah, Sock's going to make that candle purchase first, though, and completely the right decision here. You've got the money, just grab it and get moving.
Yeah, because you know where it is. It's on the path where you're going, and it means you're not looking for a red candle. And we already know that Sock wasn't planning or wasn't comfortable in attempting to gamble on a wand because he left the book there in level 1. But we have found ourselves level 7, so it looks as if the avoiding this at all costs plan for both of our runners is a good plan. But what's a better plan is finding the bow in level 2.
I'm sorry, what item?
That thing that looks like the letter, the 4th letter of the alphabet. And interestingly enough, Sock able to make progress in this 7 because he went to level 1 first. 7 immediately ladder blocked here. That is a fat reindeer, Krim. You are not incorrect about that level 7 map. Level 2 looks like you're playing Angry Birds because the big put on the left is the Angry Bird coming at the block at the bottom of level 2 there. That's just what it's crashing into.
Oh, that room is quite special.
Yes, it is, and we've already gotten plenty of business ends of danger needles. We don't need any more. We have a staircase here in level 7 for Sock. Eunos has found the compass, which he does not need. Did go ahead and kill that room because it has the potential of being a drop here in shapes. Still looking for the second item here in level 2. Eunos hoping that he's going to Eunos probably wants the recorder most of all right now to make traversing back to 1 and some other dungeons a little bit easier. And that's a heck of a find for Sock. That's the any key.
That is a fabulous find, especially with the low key counts we've had so far.
Yeah, no, any key is huge. Like, aside from like the required items, me personally, I am 100% all in on give me the any key. Like, aside from recorder, raft, like I want the any key. And it looks as if the second item here in 2 is Dig Dogger blocked. Oh. Like, literally Dig Dogger blocked as a drop in the staircase room.
Wow, that's an interesting turn of events here. And of course, once you pick up the any key, the game just gives you every key.
Well, that's exactly how it's supposed to do, right? We're going to get a check on what our white sword item here is. Are we going to get the triple heart? No, we are not going to get the triple heart overworld, but we are going to get the power bracelet. Eunos going to go ahead and pick this up, and I very much like this play as well. Power bracelet isn't necessarily required, to beat the game in this set of flags, but it is going to make transportation a lot easier, especially without the recorder. And it's going to allow Eunos, once he gets back to start, to get both to the grave and back up here to the Lost Hills fairly easily if he wants to. But it looks like he is heading back to level 1 now, where he is going to be rewarded with that ladder. And there's exactly what I was talking about. Big candle bump into the Dark Nut.
Imasock making good use of the ladder here in 7, using it to kind of keep the likes at bay while he gets his Triforce out of there.
So here's the interesting thing. Me personally, we're looking for the floor item in 7. I am all set with going back into 7 right now unless I have to. I'm just leaving, and it looks like Sock doing the exact same thing. He's going to up A, make his way back to start. At this point, he's probably going to make his way over towards the forest a little bit, see where he's going to be able to get there. Although he could just completely ignore me and go other places, which is also fine. Eunos is going to go ahead and discover that this one is in fact segmented.
You kind of have to think that both of our runners are kind of feeling a little bit, not necessarily behind, but in a weird position. 20 minutes in, and you have almost 0 items.
Oh, so apparently we found the raft. Apparently the raft was the floor item in 7, and we just missed it completely.
Well, I mean, yes.
So we found the raft. The raft has brought us to level 4. So yeah, we will apologize for that one. Eunos did pick up his ladder over there in level 1. So yeah, all kinds of fun. So yeah, that making that play to leave 7 all the better now because we've got ourselves some love.
And with that information, that puts level 9 at the recorder spot, which is really nice for our runners right now.
It's really nice for the runners, and that is literally the Gradius ship flying away off the diagonal, and there's like the one little piece of it falling off, like, don't wait for me!
Splat.
Yep. So yeah, the level 9 being at the recorder spot is very interesting, because at one spot, yes, it's nice to know that the recorder is not going to hold you back from too much, but at the same time, me personally, I don't like having level 9 be at the raft or the recorder spot. For the simple fact of, I want raft or recorder to be my go mode item, and I just want to be able to go mode one of those huge dungeons, like a 7, like a 6, like an 8.
Oh,
and if 9's underneath one of those, you can't go mode your last dungeon. When you can, but you get my point.
Yeah, it makes go mode just a little bit more challenging to get into. Yeah, kind of back to the point now. Imasock with the raft, still only having 2 Triforces. It's got to be feeling a little bit behind at the 22-minute mark, where Eunos is kind of in the same boat. I just got my ladder. I don't know where anything else is. No, it's our runners have definitely starting to feel the pressure of that race 1 starting to get to them here in race 2.
Yeah. A very subtly dangerous room there for Sock. It seems rather innocuous with just some gorillas there, but Eunos did go ahead and pick up the heart from inside inside that Stalfos. But yeah, that gorilla room that Sock clipped through, very, very much a dangerous room if you're not paying attention, because the bananas can just show up out of nowhere.
As Sock found out as he came out of that transport staircase into a banana.
I mean, he was trash-talking the bananas earlier when I came into the IRC, so it only serves him right that he gets bananaed at least once. And Eunos is going to go ahead and put that power bracelet to use, opting to save and head back to start, as opposed to walk all the way to this level 6 area. And it cuts off quite a few screens. And he's going to be very happy with the ladder he got, and with skipping this initially, because he needs this ladder to progress in 7. And from what we know, 7's pretty stacked.
Yes, and 4... has blue wizards again.
4 is stacked in a different reason. Yeah. 6, 7, and 8 are the dungeons I'm happiest to find the early map in because, like, you can just end up bombing everywhere and it's just a pain. But having the map early, at least you know in the Eunos' case, there he bombed left, can't get there, but you at least know you're not bombing into futility. Although sometimes you just turn into futility that is Wizrobe Wi-Fi beams, as Sock is finding out here in this pretty horrible level 4. And yes, that is the confirmation. The raft was in fact in the ladder blocked room here in 7. So we are back in for round 4,258 here in level 4 because Blue Wizrobes, while Eunos takes his time, kills some of those Gibdos, and gets himself a key. Sock does manage to make it through the Wizrobes here, third time being a charm, or was it 4,285th? I lost track of what I was doing.
What happens if we go up one more? Do we underflow?
MP or HP?
Yes.
I mean, I can cast Meteo if you'd like.
But you'll die.
I don't see anyone complaining about that, as Eunos has found the Triforce in 7. Sock going to go ahead and pick up the compass here. Always good to know. And is that what I think? Is that the room I think it is? So Eunos going to go ahead and head on out of level 7 after picking up the Triforce there. Is going to leave without the any key, and that's an interesting thing I want to make a note about. For the simple fact of, in previous tournaments, keys have been an issue for Eunos. He's had to leave 9 and buy keys, and doing so has cost him a race. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't necessarily want to keep harping on it, but the fact that the any key is in 7, he's probably not going to come back there for it. He's only at 2 keys right now. It is something to keep in mind, as Eunos is going to go ahead and purchase arrows so he can use the bow he found in 2.
Yeah, I like the arrow purchase here. It's another weapon. We don't have a lot of repeatable weapons. It won't do you any good in the Wizard rooms, but it'll at least help you with everything else. Eunos is going to sail away to, that awful place.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with Link.
No, I've seen where we're sailing, and I don't really want to go.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Eunos here. Eunos does have a little bit more health than Sock does. And we've already seen what Eunos is capable of with a blue Wizrobe room, as he again also finds this map. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So continuing on here, Eunos is assuming that this unfortunately is not a staircase room, and Sock is going to come across level 3 here at the Vanilla 8 location. But first, he is going to go ahead and get the Coast Heart here. Unfortunately for him, it's just a heart, but at the same time, that 6 hearts is going to at least put him at a little bit more at ease because he is guaranteed the white sword item. It's only the power bracelet, but that 6th heart is definitely something that puts you at ease.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and sail and pick up the heart as well. Yeah. The point here, you're wanting to, with the amount of Wizrobes we've seen, hearts and potions. Yes.
You mean like this Wizrobe room that's got the Triforce in for?
It has Eunos pinned in.
I mean, the blue Wizard. I mean, if you have blue Wizrobes on your fantasy team today, good for you. Because you're getting all of the delicious points right now.
They're taking after the Patriots now, aren't they?
Or where the defense is doing all the work?
And, yeah.
I mean, Sock immediately going up from 5 hearts to now 9 hearts, so that's going to put him 1 heart away from a potential magical sword play.
Yeah, with the amount of Wizrobes we've seen, with the amount of just knowing that we have to kill that blue Wizrobe for the Triforce N4, I do not blame Sock for grabbing every potential heart you can find.
No.
Also be considering buying a blue ring here.
Yeah, but he did pick up some bombs here, and I don't blame him in the slightest, especially with how ridiculous that level 4 has been and is still being here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're going to pick up a blue ring, as he is going to go ahead and check out this shop, find himself an arrow shop, and say, no thank you, I don't have a bow yet, so I don't need that.
But he's going to stroll into level 5, so we'll see what... I don't think Eunos found anything in here. I think he grabbed the Triforce and just checked out.
He did, because it was like one room in here, but we do have this map, as we did find the map beforehand, so yeah, Eunos found the Triforce fairly quickly here in 5, and then noped on out. I don't blame him at the time, and we are still only 2 items away from being in no mode here as the commentators, as we are missing silver arrows and the recorder. Eunos has found the item in 4. It is just another heart container, and being on half heart, he is all set with that right now. Now he's going to have to play Dancing with Dig Dog.
Yeah. Did you see the other thing Eunos found in here, though?
Yeah, I do.
Sword changed color.
Lovely little upgrade there on the A button for Eunos.
Which definitely not sad to see with the room he's getting ready to tangle with.
Exactly. I mean, 100% there, because it's going to make this room. Although you're better off doing exactly what Eunos is doing right now, and that's playing with bombs. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. And hey, that's going to help over on Sock's side. We got ourselves some jewelry. Sock being very careful to not get hit by the keys. And now Princess Zelda has got herself a very, very gorgeous red dress upgrade.
Eunos finishing off the Wizard room, gets the Triforce out of 4. It's down to just 6 and 8 for Triforces, but we're still missing silvers and the recorder.
Yep, the one thing that Eunos does know is that the recorder cannot be in level 2, because the only spot he has left is that Dig Dogger room, and obviously the Dig Dogger cannot block the recorder. So at this point, he has got both items out of 5, the second item out of 7, which he doesn't know. And speaking of items out of 5, level 5 having all of the goodies here tonight. Wow.
Level 5 just became level 9, Silvers and Red Ring, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So now that's going to be impressive there. That's going to put Sock in a mode, not necessarily a Triforce and Go mode, because he still has to get Bow and Recorder, but the happiest of, I don't have to dig 9 for Silvers mode, which, not going to lie, puts a big smile on my face every time I don't have to dig level 9 for Silver Arrow.
Absolutely. That's the worst feeling going into 9. And just potentially having a 1 or 2 places, like having that spot in 2 left open and having to go to 9 with silvers on the board.
Right, but I mean, if that's the one spot you have open, I'm checking that immediately because it's a quick check. It's 2 rooms in. You have the recorder already. You need it. Eunos is going to go into level 6 here. Sock going to make his way down now to what's level 3. So this becomes very interesting. We know Sock's not going to find any progression here. He's just going to get himself a boomerang and a heart container. This is where things get interesting, because Eunos decidedly has the Triforce advantage, but has many more places to still look for the items that he needs. Sock, on the other hand, most importantly, has the item that he's need to beat the game that could be in 9, that of course being the silver arrows. So this is going to be an interesting spot, because in the last race, the big turning point was where silvers were in 9. Sock opted to gamble. Eunos gambled in 7 and didn't find them. So if Eunos doesn't have the silvers going into 9, it's going to be interesting to see how he chooses to play this. If he chooses to gamble on 9 this time and have it bite him in the butt this time, or if he's going to go back and gamble on it being in the dungeon like a 5 or like a 7. It's going to be very interesting to see what his decision-making process is.
Yeah, the silvers in there weren't in the most obvious location, not necessarily in your path. So we'll have to see how that plays out as Sock does find the blue boomerang on the floor in 3 and that wonderful more wizard.
Yeah, but the blue boomerang on this specific floor tile set is awful because it blends in more than the bow did in that level too. But yeah, so, and the unfortunate thing for Eunos here is the fact that the 2 dungeons he's got left to dig out here, that being levels 6 and 8, are the 2 largest non-9 dungeons in shapes. So he's going to be, is going to have 5 items he's going to be able to get out of the 2 dungeons. But that's the unfortunate thing about the way this routing has worked out, is he's going to be digging in the biggest dungeons, whereas Sock has already dug through 7, already dug through 5. He's still also going to have to dig through 6 and 8, but he's only looking for things that he knows are going to be around, and he's only going to be looking for the recorder when time comes for it, because he's going to go up to 2 more than likely after this and find himself a bow.
Still looking for that second item in 3, which we know is just a heart container. I think it's right here.
Yep, because it was pay a heart to get a heart, and Sock going to be perfectly happy with that, being back up to 9 hearts. 9 hearts, red ring. Anyone left in the tournament at this point, very capable. And 9 hearts, red ring, wood sword is something all of these runners are going to be very content going after gaining with. However, level 6, the Wizrobes in this seed have just been relentless.
No, they're out for blood, and if you don't bring some protection, they are going to wreck you.
I mean, that's just good advice about life in general. But yes, continuing on, Sock is doing exactly what I thought he would do from the where he was, and that is heading up to the Lost Hills area. Gonna go ahead and pick up the white sword item first. He's hoping for a bow and recorder. We know it's going to be a power bracelet, but he will go ahead and pick up the bow here in level 2 as soon as he goes back there. Gets a bomb drop, doesn't need it. And just goes ahead, and he also picks up the power bracelet. And again, I'm okay with this move. I don't necessarily like picking up the power bracelet if I don't have to, but it definitely helps, especially when you don't have the recorder and you are looking for it. And as always, this level 6 is ridiculous, and oh yeah, it is technically segmented. Look at that one lonely little spot up there.
And I believe that's where the map was actually.
Gotta love it, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, the big thing here in 6 is Sock didn't dig any of this 6, so if the recorder turns out to be here, this could very well help Eunos out in this situation. Sock's going to have to come dig this. Even with red ring, this is not a pleasant 6.
No, but he's still going to have to dig in anyway because he still needs the Triforce. So you're still never happy digging 6, but you're much happier digging a 6 or an 8 if you still have to dig to find yourself the Triforce, as opposed to just digging because, well, I need an item and I don't know where the heck it is. And we're being told that this is a 30-room 6, which is a large-sized dungeon. And Sock is being told that there's no recorder behind this Dig Dogger because Dig Dogger.
Yep.
And one other piece of information here that we can extrapolate is Sock also knows that the recorder, or once he finds the bow, also will know that the recorder cannot be Goma blocked, because that would be dueling blocks, and the game never expects you to be able to clip to get past something, as you just saw Sock clip through and pick up that bow there. So he knows that the recorder cannot be bow blocked because of that.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Gomas yet, at all, actually, I don't think. So that's also an interesting point. Arrows not quite as valuable for Eunos. He hasn't really used them.
Yeah, but Sock is going to go ahead and go back into this too after picking up the Triforce. I like this play because picking up the Triforce allows him to come back in with a full bit of health.
Eunos getting the better of these wizards now.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting as we still have, our runners digging for required items. In this case, both of them looking for the recorder, although Eunos does still need himself some silvers as well. We are going to be going to 8 after this, so it's going to be interesting, especially with the fact that, again, Sock having the silvers means recorder puts him in go mode, whereas Eunos finding the recorder does not. And then that's another interesting dynamic to keep your eyes on here. I would imagine there is the floor item in 6 heart container there. So I would imagine that with all the deaths that Eunos has been taking here over the course of this match, that he has got to be extremely frustrated right now. Does get a bomb drop there in the Triforce room and going to continue on. The good thing for him is he is now just looking for a staircase so he can find himself the item in 6 and get the heck on up out of Dodge. Don't worry, the pause you see over there is just us syncing everything back together, so don't worry about that. Nothing has happened. We are just coordinating things from our end. Eunos continuing his way through 6, doesn't find a staircase. Sock finds the map basically at the end of his level 2 journey, though.
And Eunos at the end of his level 6 journey, not seeing a staircase in here. He's going to have to figure out where that staircase went off to.
I mean, it's probably doing its best recorder impression and hiding down in a corner somewhere.
So at this point, if you're Eunos, you grab the Triforce in 6. Do you go back in?
At this point, you're pot committed. You've got the map. You've explored 90% of the level. You do go back in 100%. I'm not happy about it. I'm grumbling the whole time I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. So Sock is going back to level 8. So he's going to have the 3 items to play with, as Eunos is going to have to spend a key here to continue on making progress through level 6. And it looks as if the staircase is going to be down in this bottom corner here. Well, because it has to be. I know, top-notch commentary as I'm speaking the obvious. And apparently chat thinks I'm a gorilla. Why does chat think I'm a gorilla, Nor?
But you do like the banana.
I do, but Rick plays as the gorilla spread. I play as a Wizrobe. And Eunos has found himself a red candle in 6. So both of our runners are going to be here in 8. We now know, based on the process of elimination, that the recorder is here in this 8. And yes, we knew that level 8 was going to be bad based on the level 7 map, and now we know exactly how bad. And like level 6, level 8 has that one little room down in the corner waving hello to everybody.
Which you know the item is in that room.
Oh, 100% you do. So yeah, this level 8 is just one of those where you hope that you come across one of the 2 staircase items, the one you need, and that helps, but of course, right next to the room of the Triforce, because as the game is wont to do, Eunos going to go after round 2 for this Gleeok here. Let's see what he gets this time. And he does get the map, as we saw. So probably a little, not necessarily as disappointed as he would have been had that been a drop like the recorder from earlier, but does go ahead and get himself the map of this level 8 and is probably thinking the exact same thing we are, and that is, level 8, who hurt you?
I plead the fifth.
You hurt level 8, Nora?
I mean, potentially.
Anyway, both of our runners are going to go ahead and high-five. Sock narrowly avoiding getting Y-forced, knowing that it was in the room. So we're going to have them crossing past. Eunos going up to the right where we just saw Sock. Sock going over to the left where we haven't seen anything yet. So this is what I love about being in dungeons at the same time. You get to see the past here. And Sock is going to go ahead and find himself a staircase. And finds himself, well, everyone has been talking about the banana, and there is Lord Banana. Sock going to go ahead and say, no, thank you. Didn't want to pick up either one of the boomerangs right now. One thing to be noticed of as that happens, Sock only has 1 bomb, whereas Eunos has 6. So bomb management here is going to be pretty key. And Sock did have a bunch of rooms to gamble on and gambled incorrectly. Eunos going to go ahead and be able to bomb up here, as he is also going to come across his wooden boomerang here in level 8. Now, the interesting thing about this is once Eunos gets the Triforce here out of 8, he will be eligible to go into level 9. And I'm going to be very interested to see what he chooses to do.
Because based on the information we have, as far as Eunos is concerned, Silvers could be into where they are, obviously in 5, and potentially the third item here in 8 still, I believe, is what Eunos is still missing.
Well, we know what the second item here in 8 is. Sock just found it on the floor. It's the wand.
I think with that does put us at double heart containers in 9.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely not the best thing in the world. But yeah, at this point, Sock knows he is just looking for a staircase item. Is going to have to be careful, though. Sitting on a half a heart, even on the red ring, you still want to be extremely, extremely careful. And there is nothing doing in the sprinkler head there. So now Eunos going to go ahead and pick up his Triforce. So this is going to be interesting as Sock realizing that there are some wall masters, some wall masters here. Yeah, Eunos does go back inside. That was what I was saying was going to be interesting to see if Eunos was going to gamble going back into 8 for the 2 items, or if he was going to go back to 5, or if he's going to go back to 7, to see where he was going to go back to. That was going to be the interesting thing here.
No, definitely. Going back to 8, I think at this point, this is the percentage play. At this point for Eunos, it's he's still got 2 items in here, where everywhere else he's down to 1.
Well, yeah, he still has the 2 items he needs in 5, or he can go after in 5 as well. But he's right here. He's going to be at full health. So going back into level 8, even though it's 32 rooms, even though it's going to be pretty big, he has a map in here. He's going to be at full health. So going ahead and doing this is probably the right call here, just based on that. He's going to, again, after this is going to be interesting because he's going to find himself the recorder in here if he continues to dig. And then it's going to be interesting to see if he chooses to go from here to level 9, considering where he is at, or if he goes back and tries to dig either a 7 or a 5.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to 2 first and we get that second item out of 2, which we're pretty certain is probably a heart container at this point, too.
Yeah, well, we know it. I mean, assuming it's Dig Dogger Block, which we believe it is, we know it can't be the recorder. Eunos also picks up his wand there, putting the wooden arrows that he purchased to good use. So he is going to get another offensive upgrade. And going to be very disappointed that he can't use the one-frame tap trick of White Sword and Wand to kill these Vires because they rolled higher than 4 HP. And yes, go ahead and say higher Vire 3 times fast, and I'll get back to it.
Higher Vire, higher Vire, higher Vire.
Faster?
No.
Well, you're no fun.
But you knew this already.
I did know this already. Yeah, it appears that our second stair here in level 8 is right there where Eunos is, and there is the recorder. So again, we knew this was already there, but Eunos has found himself the recorder. So he is opting to save. He is not immediately going to level 9. You're probably right. He's probably going to level 2. Yeah, he is. He's going to go to level 2 and see what's underneath that Dig Dogger. So depending on where he goes from here is going to make the very interesting choice here. Sock still has to dig the Triforces out of levels 4 and 6. So Eunos still has a little bit of time to play around with here for how he wants to gamble here. So even if he does go to 9 and gamble and miss on his gamble, he still has some time because Sock, again, still has 2 dungeons that he needs to get the Triforce out of.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how that goes because 9 can be very unforgiving. Those items can be buried deep in there because they're not required to kill Ganon. I mean, they can be buried deep in there if they are required to kill Ganon.
Yeah, true. And Sock's going to go ahead and pick up his recorder here, and it looks like Eunos is going to 9. Killing these Octoroks here, looks like he's building up a count there. But yeah, Eunos is going to 9 and gambling. Unfortunately, we know that this is the incorrect gamble, but he does have the time to mess around here with this. As we said, Sock still has 2 Triforces left to go. So it's all going to depend at this point how fast Eunos is able to find the 2 items out of level 9.
And also, does he find Zelda and Ganon? And, if you find an early Zelda and an early Ganon, do you leave? Like, when do you make that decision?
I mean, I guess it depends how early you find them. And it depends how committed you are to this. I mean, if it's me, I'm a riverboat gambler, so I'm digging as much as I can here at this point. Again, that's just my thought process. The other thing to keep in mind here is Silver's notwithstanding, the biggest advantage that Sock has is the any key. More than anything else, because Eunos is going to have to manage his keys here in 9. Sock can just go through any door he wants to. Now, this could be a good thing for Eunos because I know I've had seeds where I've had no keys, so I've had to take other paths and alternate paths, and they've taken me a very quick path to Zelda, a path I wouldn't have gotten to if I had keys. So it could be a blessing, it could not be, but to me right now, more so than the Silvers, the any key is Sock's big advantage.
Oh, definitely. And we'll see how many key doors Eunos has to deal with here in 9.
Yes, the good thing for Sock going in here to 4 is he knows what the Triforce is. He also knows it's in that absolute pain of a Wizrobe room, but he knows he can just go in and kill it. That's all he has to worry about here in this 4. Then he goes back to 6. That's where the fun starts because he does have to dig around a little in 6. But right now, his whole goal is kill these Wizrobes, don't die. Kill these Wizrobes, don't die.
Just repeat after Tej.
I mean, if we want to get into Mantras 101, we certainly can.
I'm always for killing Wizrobes.
That's why you love it when I play and the monsters get me, because I play as the Wizrobe sprite, right?
Absolutely. But Sock takes out that Wizrobe room very cleanly. So just has to dig the Triforce out of 6, and Eunos is wondering what is going to be an ugly 9.
Yeah, so we do have one of the 4 pieces of the puzzle here. Eunos has found himself some Zelda, also has found himself some map. has found quite a bit of staircases, but we don't know if he's found himself some Ganon or not because, of course, we don't have his sound open. So we're just going to have to go by what we see on his screen. But has found staircases that haven't contained the items, and he's found them fairly fast.
Sock taking that potion out of 1. That is nearly everyone's favorite potion to take, as Eunos finds the heart container in at least the first one.
And then gets very rudely greeted by a Patra there, who does what a Patra does, and that is, of course, kill Lynx. Eunos, now with that death, I don't disagree with this at all. With that death, he opts to save, because now he's got a 75% chance that the silvers are out of level 9. And he's going to go back to 5 first here, because it's the one with the 2 items in it. And this happens to be the one with the two fantastic items, that of course being Red Ring and Silver Arrow. So that death from the Patra there actually turning out to be a pretty good thing for Eunos here, as it's brought him back to level 5, where we know the Silver Arrows are.
And Imasock, interestingly enough, making a very quick beeline to where that Triforce is in 6. We'll see if he gets detoured by anything, but it's up here in that E column. I want to say this room or very close to it.
I think it's one room above this.
But this could come down to a very interesting play here. And Eunos, where's he headed now?
Back to 9.
Did he grab the silvers, or did he...
Yeah, he went in because they were up to the right. Yeah, he already grabbed the silvers. In, out, gone. Yeah,
that was wasting no time.
No, not at all. They were super early in 5. So yeah, he got the map, went up, bombed up, got the silvers, said, all right, I'm out of here, back to level 9. So now advantage firmly back in Eunos' side. But again, the thing to keep in mind is that key count, or is the key count here for Eunos. Now, if he already knows where Ganon is, then all bets are off, because he just has to make that his way there. He already knows where Zelda is. If he doesn't already know where Ganon is, then that key count could be an issue. But Sock gonna go ahead, and he's now got the Triforce, so he now knows where he has to go. Unfortunately, he is trapped in a room full of Wizrobes. But that's going to be probably too little too late, as Eunos has found himself a Ganon-ish. But Sock is going to go ahead and finish off this room of Wizrobes, as Eunos has gone ahead and finished off Ganon here. And at this point, it's just a matter of taking the path back to Zelda, which is right there. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not Zelda. That, of course, is Bow Wow. So please, let's take Bow Wow for a walk, everybody. And we're going to take Bow Wow for a walk right on to Game 3, because we're going to get one now.
Oh, everyone loves the Game 3.
Yep, 100%. Sock picks up Triforce in 6, sees the dot done, and immediately goes ahead and hits the dot forfeit with the GG. So yeah, we are going to get ourselves a Game 3. And it just so happened that that quick silvers pickup in level 5 is what did it. Sock wasn't that far behind. The early Triforce pickups for Eunos coming in handy here. And even though we didn't get a chance to hear it ourselves, apparently Beethoven's Fifth was the recorder tune. So with that, I believe we've got ourselves a Sock. Or at least I see a Sock.
Rip.
I hear a Sock.
Yeah, my mic was muted.
You know how many times I've done that?
It happens too much. Oh, what a seed.
Yeah, no, what a seed. Indeed. I definitely suggest going back and giving it a watch, because Eunos got the early Triforce out of 5, bugged out early, dug 9, found one of the items in 9, died to a Patra, bugged out, and went back and found the early map and found the silver super early in 5. You were basically getting the Triforce out of 6 when he got done, but that 9 was, if you went the right way, super quick.
Yeah, my mistake was 4. I thought, you know what? I got the ladder. I got into 7 early, picked up the raft, and was like, let's take this advantage and run with it. And so then I went to 4, and I wasted so much time in 4. And then I was like, what am I doing? I had like 4 hearts, 5 hearts or something like that. And then I was like, no, it's time to go get stuff. And I should have got stuff like 20 minutes before that. And then I probably would have been fine. But yeah, that's the mistake that I think cost me in this run.
Based on where everything were, I don't want to necessarily sit there and say, yes, that's exactly what cost you, but I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah, I should have just gone and if nothing else, at least picked up some hearts, because I had the ladder, so I should have checked the coast item too. But I don't know. I guess you live and learn. I was trying to take the advantage with the ladder to 7 to raft, and this time it didn't pay out. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. That 4 didn't give Eunos any better time either, though. So it was brutal to both of them.
Yeah, it just wasn't good at all. It just wasn't easy to move around. Oh well, everything else wasn't like bad though. It was 5 was nice. 5 was pretty loaded. It was should have gone there like a long time ago.
Yeah, no, I think so. I know even though you won game 1 earlier, is the phrase "you're going to game 3 against Eunos" something you were expecting to hear at the start?
No, either way, it was not. I feel like yesterday was sort of a fluke on some level. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I guess if I had done things correctly in this one and had not stuck in 4 forever, taking my strategy that I had yesterday, which was if something's causing problems, leave. But I felt that I'd already done that twice, and so I left 8. I left 6, I think it was, and so it was just like I got to do something, and so I stuck it out in 4 when I shouldn't have. I should have checked the other dungeons.
Yeah, no, that's a good assessment, and something to keep in mind overall in the randomizers in general is if you're beating your head against something, take a step back, go to a different dungeon. You're gonna find potentially something that will help you with the things you're beating your head against.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So good luck on game 3, sir. It's a game 3, so by default it's amazing just because it's game 3. Win or go home for both sides is always the most exciting thing, whether it's sports, whether it's video game tournaments, is 100% amazing, and I look forward to it.
Well, Eunos is obviously one of the best, and so it's a rough position to be in, but I wasn't expecting to be having a game 3, so here we are. Thank you guys all for the tracking and the restreaming and the commentary. I'm gonna go back and watch this and see how things.
With that, good luck in game 3, and for those of you who are watching us on RM, we will be back with you for another race here in just a moment. As you can see by our splash screen, we're going to have game 2 of Crystal Saber versus Angel FM. So again, stay with us here, and we will be back with you in just a couple of minutes.